The last 2 years, they've split the two games, with Memphis winning both times here at Elmer Roane Fieldhouse. Tonight, only 7 players dressed. For Memphis, it will be a challenge. And we are underway from Elmer Roane as they tap it around, and finally the Bulls control the tip.
And we saw some volleyball at the beginning of this basketball game, but it's going to be interesting to see how Memphis plays South Florida defensively. They want to make sure they don't get those touches at the high post. That's where South Florida really gets going in their transition.
Well, right away, a steal for Memphis, so good defense on the first possession. Starting 5 for USF, and for the first time in 19 games, there's a change with an injury to Tamara Henshaw. Alyssa Rader gets the start. Memphis turns it over, so each team with a turnover to start this game. The player that really makes it operate for South Florida is Laya Flores, the senior point guard, who comes in with 113 assists. Here's Memphis' starting 5, and they are 6-2 since the return of Brianna Porter, who was injured earlier. 5 now on the shot clock. Loxa has to put it up for 3. And a second possession for the Bulls. They get an offensive rebound. It's Ferreira crashing the boards.
And that's tough to see defensively for Memphis, because they did their job early. They're really smothering Kitty Loxa, not allowing her to get those early open looks. Jespersen with the miss in the middle, but they cannot lose her on the floor.
A long 3 by Loxa off the mark. Comes in with 70 made threes in her career. Great entry pass to Creighton, who missed the short shot. She has to make those shots.
10-point precision for Stinson inside to Creighton. She cannot, like you said, miss those opportunities, early looks in the rim.
Jespersen, no. Rader got the offensive rebound. She misses the putback, and then it's run down by the senior Maria Jespersen.
So that's what Melissa McFerrin was telling me in shoot around. Just, we have to make sure that we're limiting their O boards. That's how they get their second looks, and then also they're scoring out of it, as you see the execution working to the T for Flores. But those second chance opportunities, they have to make sure that they're boxing out, putting a body on somebody, and then finishing the play and coming up with the rebound.
Elmore drives, throws it up with the one hand, off the mark, and rebounded by Jespersen. Well, we talked a lot already about Flores. She was injured in the game last year between these two teams here in Memphis, and that was a big loss for Jose Fernandez's team.
She's struggled with injuries the last 2 years. She had the plantar fasciitis. She had to sit out for a while, especially at the end of that season, and then obviously going out with the ankle injury. So they're happy to have her back. She's the motor for this team, one of the toughest players you can possibly meet and see in this league.
Denmark product Maria Jespersen really bulldozed her way to the rim and scored at the other end to make it 4-0. So Memphis still looking for their first points, and Cheyenne Creighton's off the mark. Stinson, though, the runner on the baseline, and that's the freshman Jada Stinson from Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Memphis on the board.
I talked with Coach McFerrin about her, and she said we have to have more productivity from her offensively. She is in double figures, averaging, but they love to see her getting going early in this game.
A lot of contact. Porter went to the ground, no whistle. We'll tell you about the officials in just a moment. Jespersen from the corner for 3. That's a front iron note. Another second possession here. Second opportunity for USF.
And it comes down to who's going to have more possessions in this game.
And USF is out-rebounding their opponents by 10 on average, and they have played a rugged schedule, to say the least. Jose Fernandez told us before the game that's what he needs to do to make them battle-tested for conference play. Ferreira gets underneath, lost it. Somehow it didn't go across the baseline. 2 seconds on the shot clock. That was blocked by Porter, and we got a shot clock violation. And Melissa McFerrin on her feet, applauding her team's defense.
So you're looking at the offensive rebounds for South Florida, and you have to be happy with that. But for Memphis, they found a way not to just give up, hang their heads, but really lock down and start to play defense. And they got a great look out of that last series.
Good point about the offensive rebounds, Angel. 5 already for the Bulls. But Memphis trails it only by 2. Creighton honored before the game as she went over 1,000 points in the win Saturday at Tulsa. 6 now on the shot clock. Creighton at the elbow, pulls up, and she's short. Slow start for Cheyenne, who's 0 for 3, but she gets back, hustles back on defense, and knocks it out of bounds.
You can tell that the style of South Florida is they want to see if they can push it out early in transition. We already talked with Coach about scoring more in transition. He feels like that's where his team thrives the most, especially from the three-point line.
Flores with the inbounds gets it to Ferreira. Cameron and Owe, Madge Forsberg, and John Capolino are your officials for tonight's American battle. Flores splits the D, now kicks it out for another three, and Jespersen no good, and Ferreira's just crashing the boards. Flores will launch the three. She's off the mark. And good box out there by Brianna Porter.
That's what she's in the game for, especially when you have the injuries on the bench. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman or a sophomore. They're really depending on her to be that big body inside.
Bulls are 0 for 5 from long distance. Memphis yet to attempt a three. Pull up off the mark by Taylor Barnes, the sophomore. A battle for the loose ball, and South Florida comes up with it. Ferreira to Flores. Flores, nice pass to Jespersen, who goes up strong and hits the floater.
So just because you're there doesn't mean that you're really playing defense. Memphis at that point was in the paint, and they have to understand South Florida's style. They have to communicate, see where everyone is, because they're looking to attack initially out of transition.
Knocked out of bounds, Memphis basketball, 15 ticks remaining on the shot clock, and we have our first time out here at El Marrone Fieldhouse. Both teams struggling early offensively, but yet.
Why he chose to do that, he said, when we were in the Big East, we had to find a different method to the madness. All the big-time players in the States were going to the UConns, going to SEC, ACC teams, knowing that that's where you wanted to compete. Overseas, he said, they don't care. They just want to compete. They want to make sure that they're getting a good education, and they don't necessarily know about the big-time schools in which they can compete at. So he said they have great heart. They're used to being away from home. So this is the type of player that he goes after, and he's done a great job in the 18 years and seasons that he's had with putting this roster together.
7 seconds on the shot clock for Memphis. Creighton has it down. Kicks it back out to Barnes, and she takes a 30-footer, front iron, and a rebound for USF. Again, it's Alyssa Rader, who was a mid-year transfer from Northern Arizona, became eligible on December 15th, and she gets the start tonight as Henshaw's out with an injury. Memphis trying to get this offense going, 1 of 7 from the field, and Elmore, who's 21 points per game in conference play, she is vital for Memphis. She misses on that attempt, and here comes Ferreira after the rebound.
She does a great job just creating her own shot, and defensively she gets a couple of steals, creating some points for her too, but she has a tough assignment right now with Kadia Loxa.
The runner by Loxa off the mark, but she got her own rebound, and a fresh 30 for USF. That's been the story so far in this game. Just to add to your point about the international players, they also come with experience having played for their respective country's clubs, their club sports. It's not high school, so they're getting a lot more experience. As Loxa is off the mark on that one, an air ball with 7 seconds on the shot clock, but it went out of bounds off Memphis.
And playing against the top tier players, even the players that come from overseas, from the States, that are playing against them and playing professionally, those are the type of players that they've been able to compete against. So they're not really shocked when they come over to the States to compete. They just want to play great basketball.
That's a great point. 7 on the shot clock. Here's Loxa, another long three, and a rebound by Porter. 1 and done that time for USF.
That's what she's looking for. So far, Memphis is doing a great job containing her on the three-point line. She's gone 11 consecutive games with knocking down at least 1 three-point shot.
USF 0 for so far from 3. They shoot 38% from the stripe on the season. Good entry pass inside to Porter. She waited maybe a little long to get it to Creighton. Now 5 on the shot clock. Elmore dribbles, fires it up, and that one is short. That's a shot clock violation. So great defense by USF. So far, a defensive battle early. Memphis has not scored in the last 3 minutes and 43 seconds. And again, for Melissa McFerrin, 7 players dressed tonight. Found out before the game, Bria Wilder-Cochran is out with shoulder and knee issues. Other players, also Dominique Miller out for the year. They lost Asia Jones before the season even started, which really hurt. Now a three-point opportunity for Maria Jespersen, who's been the scorer so far for the Bulls. She has 6, attempting her 7th point.
Well, she's leading this team in double-doubles already. I know that it's easy for us to bring all of our attention to Flores and even Kitty Alaksa just because they can put up so many points, but let it be known, Maria Jespersen has done her job on both sides of the floor with great size as well.
10th all-time in USF rebounding. As you mentioned, leads the team in double-doubles with 7. Creighton on the low block, spins, shoots and scores, and that's more like it for Cheyenne Creighton. Speaking of double-doubles, 9 this season, 14th in the NCAA, and 17 career double-doubles. 9-4 USF. And there's a trip on Creighton as Jespersen tried to drive inside the paint. First personal against Creighton. That'll be the 2nd team foul against Memphis. Because
you're playing the numbers if you're Memphis. You know that for South Florida, they're trying to get out and shoot the 3. Creighton there, not having a nice closeout, but not adjusting to Jespersen putting the ball on the floor. Trips her up.
Jasmine James will come in and replace Cheyenne Creighton. 6'1" junior college transfer. Played 2 seasons at San Jacinto Junior College. Floater by Laksa. Offensive rebound put back by Jespersen. And again, why she is such a good rebounder. She gets herself in a great position. She has 9 points, and USF has its largest lead at 7, 11-4.
So now you understand why Coach McFerrin was saying we have to make sure that we dominate the boards. That's where their points are coming from. You've already mentioned the second chance opportunities. Got to box out.
Oh, a long 3 there by Taylor Barnes. That is her 15th made triple on the season, and Memphis needed that one in the worst of ways, 11-7.
So far, the 2 players that Coach McFerrin was really wanting to step up on the offensive end have already scored in the game. They have to continue to look for their shot as Jespersen. Sounds like we've been saying her name every trip down the floor, but she's been able to do it all.
And how about that feed from Rader? Then Ferreira gets the steal at midcourt. She takes it all the way for the easy bucket. And just like that, USF back up 15-7.
Slowing down the pace. You don't want to get into the flow of what South Florida wants. They want to turn you over. They want to make sure that they're getting the easy looks. This is where you execute.
Porter double teamed, had the ball knocked away, gets it back. 10 on the shot clock. Elmore working against Ferreira. Drives the lane, puts it up with the one hand. She's short. Rebound Porter, the putback, no. And a rebound by who else? Ferreira. USF running the floor. And coming up a little short was Jespersen. So Memphis can work it for this final shot here in the first quarter. Barnes will slow it down. 5 seconds, she'll pull up for a 3. No, Jespersen. Rebound, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Things started to heat up later in that first quarter after a slow start for both offenses. But for the University of Memphis basketball players, David Nickelberry, Jamal Johnson right there in the middle, coming off a big win last night over UConn. They won 4 in a row, so all smiles for the Memphis men's team as they are cheering on the women, who trail by 8 as we open up the second quarter. Creighton misses the 3. Ferreira gets the rebound, and rebounding, what an edge for USF in that first quarter.
18-7 at this point. 9 offensive boards so far for South Florida, but what Memphis has to make sure of is that they're getting the offense going right now. 2 points, actually 7 points within the 3 players that we featured in the beginning. So we have to make sure that they're executing their offense, or at least getting to the line and putting the pressure on the defense.
Elmore, corner 3. She drains it. Bria Elmore averaging 14.9 a game, but 21 per game in conference play in the 4 games. That ranks her 11th in the conference. We have 4 of the top 11 scorers in just conference games playing in this contest.
Well, sometimes it just takes one shot for it to go down, for you to get settled into the offense and really see how your offensive game can get going.
Trying to answer was Ferreira. That one goes off of USF Memphis basketball. And Memphis is dodging some bullets from long range because USF is cold from 3-point line. They're 0 for 8 so far in this game. And it's a team that shoots the 3-ball pretty well.
Well, speaking with Coach Fernandez, he said even bouncing back in that Temple game, he said our shooters, Jespersen and Kitty Alaksa, went 4 for 44.
Wow.
From the 3-point, from the field. So they know that They have to get in a rhythm. They're going to continue to shoot until their arms fall off. That's just their style of play.
Barnes in traffic over 2 defenders. Taylor Barnes has 5.
So I know we've talked about the injuries for Memphis, but you be remiss if we don't bring up the youth movement for Memphis and Barnes being able to have the confidence to get to the rim, as well as Jespersen in this game that is really standing out on this season so far.
That's Alba Prieto checks in, a freshman point guard from Spain. 5 on the shot clock. Ferreira the runner. Tipped rebound and pulled down by Shea Leverett, who also just checked in. So a couple of subs for head coach Jose Fernandez. Another 3 attempt off the mark by Prieto. They're 0 for 9. Memphis a long one away from tying this game. Stinson with the cross-court pass, and now Barnes has it on the wing. Guarded by Ferreira. Elmore got by Prieto, pulls up on her, and a rebound by Ferreira.
See, I think there, even if you're going to go off the bounce, you have to solidify your inside presence, as Jespersen, again, taking advantage of the lack of transition defense for Memphis, is just running straight down the court. It's almost like a drawn-up play for her at this point, but for Memphis, we haven't seen a lot of inside touches. We've seen the outside shot. We've seen the ball getting to the paint off the bounce, but they can't lose sight of Davis.
That's a beautiful pass to Creighton, and right on cue, what you're talking about, that's how Memphis stays in this game, going inside, especially to Creighton, who has 4.
Play to your strengths. Why not? She's underneath. She's doing her job. You have to make sure that you reward your players for putting the effort in.
1 possession game, 17-14 USF, 0 for 9 from 3, and Jespersen missed the runner, but she got behind the defense. Rebounded by Elena Davis, who just checked in for Memphis. So they got their 2 subs, their only 2 subs in uniform in the game. In Davis and Joel James is checked out, but that's the only 2 they have as backups. Good drive by Elmore, doesn't get the bounce. Right into the hands of Davis, who gets the putback.
If they're not going to find her underneath, she's going to create some offense on her own, getting on the offensive glass, finishing over the rim.
Got a whistle and a foul on the floor. That's going to go against Jada Stinson. First foul here in the second quarter. First foul against Stinson. Couple of changes for Jose Fernandez's team as we look at the replay.
You just can't put your forearm on her. That's riding Flores there, and just with the new rules, there's no hot stove, there's no forearm. You have to make sure that you're playing with your feet and not your hands.
Rader and Loxa back in the game for USF. Prieto and Leverett are out. And an offensive foul against USF, and that's Loxa, and that's almost a frustration foul. She had a real rough first quarter, and she gets called for the personal there.
You got to give kudos to Brianna Porter for being able to step up and pick up a tough assignment with Kitty Aloxa, but really making her uncomfortable on the offensive end, making her put the ball on the floor, and with that, moving your feet and not picking up the foul there.
Kitty Aloxa 0 for 5 from the field, a couple of rebounds. That's it. Stinson works baseline. Good feed to Creighton, who hits the free throw line jumper. A half dozen now for Cheyenne Creighton, averaging 16 on the season, a third-team All-AAC performer last year. Jespersen, somebody has to cover her.
Finally, one goes down for South Florida on the outside as well. They worked hard for it.
Jespersen has already taken 14 shots. She's hit 7 and has 16 points and 6 rebounds. But it's only a 2-point game. Memphis hanging tough. Dangerous cross-court pass. 10 on the shot clock now for Barnes. Double teamed, had the ball stolen by Ferreira. Ferreira with the break. Elmore gets back on defense, and Ferreira is unable to make it, but an offensive rebound and a putback by Jespersen. That was really good hustle by Elmore. She altered that shot, but nobody was in position to keep that offensive rebound from going the way of USF.
And if I'm a teammate, I would be livid with Taylor Barnes. You turn the ball over, you hang your head, you don't run back on transition defense. Elmore had to run back. You could have got another opportunity to get the ball. You can't hang your head. You got to have some type of maturity and continue to compete.
Another steal, and Flores gets a layup at the other end. 4 now for Laya Flores. Leads the American in assist to turnover ratio, assists per game. She's top 18 nationally in all those categories. Now they'll slow it down a bit.
Leads in anything assists at this point. That's what you could say for Laura Flores. But I love the growth that we've seen over the years for her. She just, especially with the team losing a player such as Courtney Williams a couple years ago, she had to step up and be a different type of point guard for Coach Fernandez, but she has really grown in her confidence and grown in her ways for this team.
Creighton with 1 on the shot clock buries the 3. She is 35% from beyond the arc, but she doesn't take a lot. That's only her 7th made 3. She now has 9. And then another layup down at the other end, this time by Ferreira, who has 4. It's 26-21 USF.
Well, if South Florida is going to shoot 10% from the three-point line, they got to find a way to really get some offense going outside of that, and going to the floor, going to the rim has definitely been helping them out.
Creighton tries to muscle one in. No, Davis got the rebound, and Elena's going to go to the free throw line. Well, you mentioned the struggles from the outside for USF, just one of...
Took offensively scoring inside as well.
That's a great point. 7 rebounds have led to putback points for her because she's only 1 of 5 from 3. Here's Elena Davis at the free throw line, shooting 73% on the season. She has 3, averages just under 5, a freshman forward, good size, out of Augusta, Georgia. You know that state pretty well. One more for Davis. She knocks them both down, and we have a 1-possession game. And she will quickly be subbed for as Brianna Porter checks back in. You and I were chatting during the last time out about the last matchup on February 5th of last year and how Memphis did a great job in not allowing USF to get inside the paint.
Well, they won the game, Memphis 62-57, because they had 36 points in the paint compared to South Florida's 20. As you can see, South Florida took a page out of their book and saying we have to make sure that we get paint touches and making sure that they can put the ball on the floor, especially shooting such a poor percentage from the field on the outside.
15 on the shot clock. There was a tie up there. USF had the possession arrow. They finally get it into Ferreira. Guarded by Elmore. Loxa wants the ball, but Barnes did a good job denying her. Jespersen, nice baseline pass. Back to Jespersen. 1 on the shot clock. She's not going to get off the shot. A great double team by Creighton and Elmore.
And that's there where Flores has to make sure that she's communicating. I know that guards are sometimes, well, I didn't have the ball, so it's not my fault. No, this is your team. You're the floor general. There shouldn't be a possession offensively where you don't know how much time is left on the shot clock. 4th
turnover for USF, Memphis 5. Stinson, the freshman, had the ball stripped, but look at Porter's power as she wrestled it away from the defender. Elmore, just 1 of 6 from the field. She gets tripped, no call, and it'll be a turnover on Memphis.
It's a very interesting no call, but I love her aggression to the rim, trying to see if she can at least get a shot off the rim. There was a trip there, but at the end of the day, our call doesn't matter.
Well, the officials will look at it as incidental, but the defender was moving in her way, and obviously there's nowhere to go if you have somebody in front of you, and they locked legs there for the Memphis turnover. Jespersen had the ball stripped by Elmore, but she hustles and gets it back. 7 now on the shot clock. Jespersen, long 3, that one short. Right into the hands of Ferreira. She got the putback, missed, got the rebound again. Just beat the shot clock. So this is a 3rd opportunity on this 1 possession for USF.
South Florida already has 22 points in the paint compared to Memphis. We brought it up already.
As Flores knocks down the 3.
You don't want to see him going on both sides. You definitely want to make sure that you're doing your job, and they have done a great job so far, keeping Kitty Aloxa out of this game and making everybody else become scorers, right now sitting at 0 points.
Creighton misses the baseline shot. Here's Flores. 6-point lead after that 3, just 2 of 12 from 3-point land. Ferreira, wild shot, and saved nicely by Stinson. Elmore now will wait for teammates to get down the court as we approach a minute to go in the 2nd quarter. Memphis trailing the 23rd ranked Bulls by 6. Porter, strong take with the left hand.
I loved her poise with the ball, not forcing something. That's Creighton's shot from that high post, knowing her job and getting to the paint on that nice layup.
Jespersen, nope. One and done that time for the Bulls. Barnes looking to push it. She'll pull up at the elbow. And she gets the bounce.
100 miles per hour, getting to her sweet spot on the floor for the nice pull-up. I love the change of speed for her and being able to stop on a dime to pull up and score.
She knew exactly what she wanted to do. A 2-for-1 in that situation now. Loxa, wow, she is really off her game. Jespersen tries to save it. She steps on the baseline, and now Memphis, with the shot clock off, can work for the final shot of the half. Again, on a 4-0 run, they're down just 2. They could tie this game and possibly even take the lead here going into the locker room. Barnes takes the air out of the ball. Now she'll have to do some work with 9 seconds on the shot clock. Elmore launches the 3. Got it! And that'll do it for the first half, and Memphis has the lead. The Tigers end up from Taylor Barnes, 6 from Bria Elmore. 6 different Tigers have scored. Just 3 have scored for USF, led by Maria Jespersen with her 18. Memphis with the basketball to start the third quarter. Same 5 that started the game for both teams on the floor to start the second half. Barnes threw it up. Creighton had a rebound for a moment and then lost it, and it ends up hitting Barnes, who was out of bounds.
She needs better shot selection there. I love the way she turned the corner, really hitting the corner, but then going too far out and trying to make something out of nothing.
7th turnover for Memphis. And trying to get untracked is Loxa. She misses, and Porter gets the rebound.
You're looking at the bench for South Florida, and they're all putting their hands up like, we don't know what's going on. The only other game that she was held scoreless in her career was a recent one against UConn.
Which you could almost understand against UConn. Beautiful behind-the-back dribble. Nice fake by Flores, and she left it short, but Ferreira right there for the rebound. And we got a clock malfunction. The shot clock was not moving at all. Now they're going to fix it. They drop it down to 20, so they got that fixed real quick. Once again, your officials, Cameron Inoue, Madge Forsberg, and John Capolino. Jespersen with the inbounds. Jespersen calling for it, and Creighton got her mid out there and deflected it. 16 now on the shot clock. Then USF ranked 23rd as Loxa misses another. That's the coaches' poll. Not in the top 25 in the writers' poll, the AP poll, but they did receive votes this week.
And Memphis is really licking their chops at this point. They have South Florida's number when it comes down to just taking them out or dethroning them from the top 25. We saw it last year when they came here, and they were also in the top 25, and they said that's our opportunity. And what it comes down to is the number in front of the team does not matter. It matters who comes to play, executing your plays, and really believing that you can take down any team.
Nice move by Jespersen, the jump stop, and then draws the foul. She'll get 2 free throws. She is 72% on the season, which is tremendous, but it pales in a comparison to her teammate, Kitty Loxa, who has not gotten to the free throw line this evening. She leads the nation at 98%, which is unreal. What did you shoot at Florida State, by the way?
I was probably in the 70s. You know, I did my job. I wasn't the best, but making free throws is very important. You want to make sure that you step up for your team because you don't want to be that liability. And you get more time on the floor, too, when you can hit those free throws.
Taylor Barnes hits a 3. Her second triple of the game. She has 10. Memphis has hit 5 of 10 from long distance, and they are up 2. Jespersen with those free throws now at 20. Nice move by Alyssa Rader, the redshirt sophomore, getting her first start tonight against starting for the injured Tamara Henshaw.
She was a Big Sky most outstanding freshman before she transferred into the American Conference. You can see why she can do it all, big body inside, but also taking it to the rim. Good
ball movement by Memphis, and Elmore knocks down the top of the key 3. That's her third triple, 9 points for Bria, who shoots 37% from beyond the arc. She has 7 20-plus point games this season.
Now, we know that she can score putting the ball on the floor, but what she's been able to do outside is outstanding. Just really dialed in and knocking down the outside shot.
We got a foul away from the ball. I believe they got a hold. Might be, who did they call that on, Elmore or Barnes? Let's see. Yes, that'll be actually on Brianna Porter. They called for that. And there's Melissa McFerrin with some words of wisdom for Brianna. Offensive foul against Loxa. Or was it Rader? It was Rader on the screen. Let me see this. Yeah, look.
The rub screen right there, which was a solid hit. You hate to see a player go down, but Taylor Barnes hit the floor hard, sacrificing her body, trying to do everything that she can to prevent Kitty Loxa from getting the ball.
Stinson pulls up at the free throw line. And there's Rader with the rebound.
She's made her presence known so far in the second half.
Rader with 4 rebounds now for USF. Memphis by 3. Jespersen is fouled. And she will go to the free throw line.
It's what they've been able to do on that curl screen. You can see Rader going down to set the screen, and it's just a curl for Jespersen coming right around. She's either going to get it at the high post to see if she can get a shot or get all the way to the rim, which she did there.
In and out on the first attempt for Jespersen, who has 20 points. The foul committed by Jasmine James, who had just checked in for Brianna Porter. 3 fouls now here in the third quarter for Memphis, 1 for USF. Jespersen goes 1 of 2. And it's a 36-34 game. Memphis by 2. Led all of 10 seconds in the first half, but led at the break 30-29.
See the inside touch. Not getting anything on the outside, but I do like the inside touch. They don't score there, but great execution so far.
And Jespersen crashes the board. Ferreira's got 12 rebounds. Jespersen has 9. They've combined for 21 of the 29 USF rebounds. So Jespersen a rebound away from a double-double. 7 on the shot clock, working baseline now, spins on Creighton, but left it short. Cheyenne gets her 4th rebound. Memphis has won 6 of their last 8. So they have been playing well. They're coming off a win at Tulsa on Saturday, 69-48.
And despite the numbers they have, they've been able to just do it steadily. You don't see them pressing. As you can see the foul there, we're going to see who it's called against. It looks like it's going against Ferreira.
And it will.
But Porter stepping up and seeing if she can, or Barnes, I'm sorry, seeing if she can step up for the 2 dribble. We talked with Coach before the game, and she said that's where I want her to grow and being able to have the confidence to knock down that shot and not just always looking to get to the rim. You want that balanced player. Keep them honest on the defensive end.
Barnes bounces in the first for Melissa McFerrin's team. She'll get 1 more, has 11 as Porter checks back in for James. And I know Melissa told you that she needs a 3rd scorer. She has Creighton, she has Elmore, and right now it's Barnes who has a dozen.
She even threw Jada Stinson in there. We know that she's been very good defensively, a solid freshman that's been able to step in. It's been challenged. She said her work ethic is there. She's always in the gym, and her IQ is where it needs to be in order to be an impact player in her first year.
Memphis with its largest lead, 4. Loxa gets it to Jespersen with 10 on the shot clock. She drives, draws the foul. The bucket will count, and a 3-point opportunity for Jespersen, and Maria is having a tremendous game.
She has put this team on her shoulders. It doesn't matter from the outside. She's putting it on the floor. You can see the emotion there. And it takes those type of plays in order to just spark a fire within the rest of your teammates. She's been relentless getting to the rim, taking the contact and finishing, not just trying to get the ball off the glass or pick up a foul. She's finishing.
A product of Aarhus, Denmark, completes the old-fashioned 3-point play. She now has 23 and 10 rebounds. Wow. 1-point game, Memphis by 1. Elmore drives, left it short. Jespersen got the rebound. That may have been deflected. Or at least altered. Oh, Rader got behind the defense, and she blew the bunny. Got it back. But she scores, so a relentless play there by Rader, who gets the bucket.
No, Flores wanted that assist, but Rader still being persistent, fighting on the glass and not giving up just because she missed the first shot.
Bulls reclaim the lead, 39-38. We're halfway through quarter number 3. Stinson dribbling through traffic now, 10 on the shot clock. Stinson working against Loxa. That was deflected, and that had bad news written on it from the beginning. Going behind the back is Laya Flores, but guarded nicely by Cheyenne Creighton. Jespersen, good kick to the wide open Flores, who buries the 3. Her second triple, 10 now for Laya Flores. And now USF starting to take control again like they did most of the first half. They're up 42-38. Memphis has not scored in nearly 3 minutes.
That's when you have to be happy if you're Coach Fernandez, knowing that you have the pieces on the floor offensively when your leading scorer isn't able to score, but you have other players that are stepping up and hitting those outside shots and being aggressive to the rim.
Barnes got through a crack somehow in the USF defense. She now has 14, and there she goes. Kitty Loxa. It was only a matter of time as she buries her 71st triple of the season. First all-time in Bulls three-point shots made at 245, and now make it 246. And we have a timeout called by Melissa McFerrin. USF starting to get some shots to go down, and finally
to look at who's been able to contribute. You know that Kitty Loxa is finally on the board, going 1 for 9 from the field, 1 for 5 from the three-point line, which we know she is very lethal from. But you got to credit Laura Ferreira, already with 12 rebounds on the game, 4 points, and then it's been all Marie Jespersen. It's been her show so far.
Three-pointer by Stinson's an air ball right into the hands of Ferreira, and a great feed as Loxa beat everybody down the court. We saw a lot of that in the first half, not by Loxa, but by USF.
Well, that's an easy way to get some buckets, just being able to run the floor, and you know that's their style of play. Can't have mental lapses like that, and understanding the game plan when you're taking on South Florida.
Lead 7 now for the Bulls. Elmore behind the back, nifty. Creighton for 3. How about that highlight? Bria Elmore down on one knee after slipping, goes behind the back, and Cheyenne Creighton buries the 3. Her second triple of the game.
I'll vote on it. Great play, not giving up, and Creighton being able to step up, get the ball, not complain about the pass, but knocks it down.
Memphis now 7 of 13 from beyond the arc. 4-point lead for the Bulls. Flores, Ferreira for 3. The answer, yes.
Building that confidence. You just need to see 1 or 2 go down. Kitty Loxa knocks one down. Flores is really coming into her own on the outside. We've seen them staying in this game and getting the lead with just getting to the rim. Now that 3-ball is really making a difference in this game.
Elmore, how about that? Somehow she got that shot off. That was nifty. A bucket and a bang, and she'll get a 3-point opportunity.
The behind-the-back pass from Elmore, but she's been solid this entire game. We've seen what she can do from the outside, already knocking down 3 threes in this game so far, but really finishing at the rim so far in this game.
3-point play completed by Bria Elmore, who has a dozen, again averaging 21 points per game in conference games. Jasmine James will check back in for Brianna Porter. Memphis down 4. Flores with only 4 assists so far, and she is an assist machine. Now Prieto in the game, Alba Prieto, another Spaniard, a freshman. Jespersen knocks it down. That was a great play set up by Loxa. It was double teamed and kicked it to her on the wing, and she drilled the 3.
Well, it's the high hedge. If she's going to come off the screen, they're going to bring their post player to make her go further out. But when you have that high post roll with Jespersen, it's hard to see. You got to pick your poison. Jespersen made him pay on that 3.
27 now for Maria Jespersen. Creighton, nice job locking up her defender Ferreira. And there was nothing really Ferreira could do.
Yeah, Jada Stinson finding her early. Just a great wraparound pass inside, but not too long before Flores just finds her way inside the paint.
Yeah, if you don't get back and get into a defense position, Flores is going to run it right down the court and score on you. She sees a hole, and she'll take that hole right to the rim. She'll go through that hole. 55-48, under a minute to play in quarter number 3. Elmore double teamed. Bounce pass stolen by Prieto. Jespersen has it. 1-on-2. She'll put it up, and she'll draw the foul.
She doesn't care. It doesn't matter if there's 4 or 5 jerseys in front of her. She's going to try and make a play at the rim. You got to love her aggression, just getting the ball off the glass as well.
Jasmine James, second personal foul. That is 5 fouls against Memphis here in quarter number 3, but a shooting foul nonetheless. And 2 more free throws for Jespersen. Melissa McFerrin coaching up her team. 10th season in Memphis. Jespersen goes 1 of 2, loose ball. USF gets it. Nobody guarding Jespersen. She'll back it out now to Flores.
And that's all. She didn't take that shot only because of the time on the clock, and coach wants them to execute this play. But what about the communication on the defensive end for Memphis? That's a mental lapse. You can't have that.
4 now. Prieto over Bart. She missed it. She overshot it. Rebound by Creighton, and now Memphis can work for the final shot of the third quarter. 8 seconds. Elmore guarded by Loxa. Now she'll pull up. Nope, she goes back to Creighton. Creighton's going to have to hoist it. She does, and drills it. It was a 3 by Cheyenne Creighton. Memphis has the knack for the dramatics in this game, but even with that 3, they per game held to 5 tonight. But her teammates certainly stepping up, and Maria Jespersen is having a career night. In fact, now with 28 points, that is a career high. She has scored 26 4 different times, including earlier this season against Temple. But tonight, 28, and has a whole quarter to go.
We knew we were going to see some scoring. We didn't know we were going to see lack of scoring from Kitty Aloxa, but we said from the top of the game, 4 players in the top 11 in the American Conference for scoring. And we would be remiss if we didn't bring up the fact that even on the Memphis side, Cheyenne Creighton, this is the first time she's had 3 3-pointers in a game.
Yeah, she's an inside player, but she has a good shot. She makes 35% of her threes. I'm a little surprised that that's a career high. Great feed from Ferreira inside to Alyssa Rader, who now has 6.
Turning up a good pass, a good shot for a great shot underneath. Take the layup all day.
Barnes pulls up inside the arc. Easy rebound there for Loxa. Nobody defending her. She just had the defense turn their back to her, and she just took it right down Broadway.
Those are the looks that she has to continue to get. We know that they're going to smother her when she doesn't have the ball to prevent her from getting those outside looks. She has a quick release. Great look in transition for her.
Elmore for 3. Rebounded by Flores. It's 1 and done now for Memphis, as they see themselves trailing by 9 now. Ferreira dumps it inside the Raider, working on Porter. Pretty move.
Interesting to see how that shot went down, seeing how it hit the rim, but I like the side play of them right now, knowing not just to take the outside shot, but they know what they're trying to get out of their offense. You can see the inside touch there and drained.
Since the 5:56 mark of the third quarter, the Bulls have gone on a 28-13 run. They're 3 for 3 from the field here in the fourth quarter, and they now own their largest lead at 11, 62-51. Elmore short. Is that a sign of fatigue when you're short on your shots, or am I looking too much into it? It's right down Broadway once again goes Flores. Maybe that's a sign of fatigue, not getting back on defense.
That is a great sign of fatigue, and especially because they were doing it so well at the beginning, well, in the first half altogether. But as far as the shot right out of the timeout for Memphis, that's Elmore's shot.
Moving screen on Stinson, who tried to lay out Ferreira, and she's called for the personal. So that's 2 fouls now against Memphis in the fourth quarter, and 2 against Stinson. Nobody really in foul trouble. Rader has 3, though, for USF. Under 8 to play. Oh, nice feed to Rader. She gets it back, though. It's Loxa. And all of a sudden you look up and she has 10 points.
Some in transition. She had the 1-3 that went down, but it's her being aggressive to the rim as well in this game.
Let me correct, 9 points for Loxa. One of those baskets she made was a 3-pointer. Porter blocked. Good defense by the Bulls. They got a 3-on-2 break. Oh, what a no-look feed from Flores to Loxa. And that's why she's one of the best assist players in the country.
Well,
beautiful.
That's why you have to run with her. She's going to reward you. You just have to make sure that you're getting down the floor. She had two great options. You got Loxa on one side, Jespersen. We're not surprised to see her running on the other side.
And just like that, the lead is ballooned to 17. Stinson, her shot's blocked. Porter misses the putback. Gets the rebound, though. Another opportunity for Memphis. 5 on the shot clock. It hasn't touched the rim yet. Stinson, the floater, is short.
It's dangerous when Flores has the ball in her hands.
And a sweet shot by Flores right on cue, Angel.
It's like she's playing chess. Each piece that comes up, she's just finding a way to get past them. That time, not passing it up, but really taking her own shot and drains it.
Flores has 16 to go along with 5 assists. Jespersen 28 and 10 rebounds. Ferreira 7 points and 13 rebounds. That is 3 straight trips where the Memphis shooter had their shot blocked. Again, USF has the numbers. Loxa drills the 3 from the corner, her second triple. She's now in double digits with 12.
This is when you start to say, does the fatigue start making a play? You know that you only have 6 players on this team that can sub in, or 7 for Memphis. So who's going to be able to get up and down the floor? And you can see there just the mental toughness of just passing in the lanes. And
wow. Elmore came back and blocked Ferreira. Great job by Bria. Never quit on the play.
That's the second time she's run back in transition. That is the play of the game for me. Well,
the coach loves to see that from any player, the hustle, especially down 22. And let me correct myself, Locke says 14. They're scoring so quickly now in the fourth quarter, it's hard to keep up. Porter with the offensive rebound. Stinson, and she is fouled. So Stinson will go to the free throw line. They're really just tightening up down the middle, not allowing anything easy.
She thinks she gets an easy 2, but Elmore right off the backboard. I see you, LeBron James, out here.
Boy, that was a great defensive play.
It's a nice look.
But on the flip side with USF, I'm sure you've noticed this, their defense, they're just collapsing. They're not allowing anything in the paint. That's why you saw 4 players basically on Stinson, although they fouled her, because they're going to make Memphis shoot outside and not get any easy shots inside. Stinson at the free throw line makes the first.
Well, you have to credit Alyssa being able to be that inside presence, not just standing there, but going for the block, something that Coach Fernandez really doesn't tell his players to do, but she's been able to do so without fouling. That, along with the execution, hasn't really been there for Memphis in the last couple of trips. It's more like desperation shots, trying to cut the deficit and not really staying within their game plan.
Good hustle by Elena Davis, who just checked in. She's able to knock the ball off the USF defender, and Memphis will get it after the missed free throw by Stinson. 5:25 to play here in the fourth quarter. It's a 21-point game. Good defense. Ferreira anticipated that backdoor cut, and she got her paw out. And look at Flores, who's red hot in the second half.
You love to see what she can do with the ball.
And Memphis finally, as Bria Elmore knocks down the 3. Make that a 2 from Bria. Elmore with 14. And a foul against Memphis, and free throws for the Bulls. Memphis scoring Creighton with 17, 14 each for Elmore and Barnes. So there's your 3 scorers that Coach McFerrin talked about, but certainly not enough with this USF offensive juggernaut. And finally, as Jespersen makes the free throw, they get Loxa on track in the second half.
Well, with that game plan, having 3 players scoring double digits, that's fine and dandy, but you have to make sure that you're still doing your job on the defensive end. The first half, they did a better job of communicating in transition defense, making sure that Kitty Aloxa was never lost on the offensive end, and now you're just seeing a different style. I don't know if fatigue plays a point, but Elmore showing that it really doesn't matter. She's done it all in this game, being a playmaker, knocking it down, pretty move.
She's fun to watch, really exciting player to watch.
It's because she's from Stone Mountain.
16. Yeah, there you go. Spoken like a fellow Georgian. By the way, Jespersen adds to her career best 29, so that missed free throw keeps her from a first 30-point performance, but still has 4:14 to play, or as long as Jose Fernandez keeps her on the hardwood. 4 on the shot clock. Loose ball got kicked by Stinson, and Loxa runs it down. Fresh 30. And now USF will take their time. Bulls looking to improve to 15-4, 5-1 in the conference, 5-1 on the road. And this will be a 4th straight road win if they could seal the deal. Jespersen working against Creighton. Pretty bank shot.
Tough matchup. Creighton is not an easy player to go over, and Jespersen just having her way on the inside, outside. Let me count the ways. How many different ways can she show us that she can score?
31 points, 11 of 21 from the field. Only 2 of 7 from 3, but she's made a lot of dipsy-do shots in the lane, a lot of layups as well. She's also hit 7 of 10 from the free throw line. Stinson 5 on the shot clock. Barnes saves it. She's going to have to heave it, but not in time. It's a shot clock violation for Memphis. And that will be their 12th turnover. Make it 13th turnover now for Melissa McFerrin's team. Largest deficit, down 22. They were up a point at halftime, as Laya Flores will be taken out of the game, and so will Cheyenne Creighton.
South Florida has really found the bottom of the net so far in this 4th quarter, 22-5 as far as the points in this quarter alone.
Alba Prieto in the game. The freshman point guard, the backup to Laya Flores. Also in the game is Vanessa Blagman. Here's Prieto for 3. In and out. Jespersen fights for the rebound with Elena Davis. It'll be Memphis basketball in the alternating possessions. That's it for Brielle Elmore. She's taken out of the game.
How about Maria Jespersen, though? She's just been everywhere on the floor. We think that you can blame it on fatigue, but sometimes it's the sheer will to win and just wanting it more and getting to the rim. She just has that hard-nosed dog in her that wants to win.
Speaking of hard-nosed dog, that was a tough shot by Taylor Barnes. She's had a terrific game. Barnes has 16 points on 6 of 11 shooting with 3 rebounds, 3 assists.
I asked Coach who would be her unsung hero for her team, and she didn't hesitate at all. She said Taylor Barnes. We know that she's our best defender, improved on three-point last year. But she's just been able to bring that pressure, be that vocal leader, and keep us organized on the floor. And that's all just with her being a sophomore.
Ferreira draws the foul. Barnes commits it, and Ferreira will get 2 free throws. Laura with 7 points, but 13 rebounds. Just right place, right time. Tell us about rebounding. What makes a good rebounder?
Well, I think that it's just the anticipation of where the ball is going off the rim. You have to know if it's an outside shot. If it's shot long, it's going to be a long rebound. Putting yourself in a position to be there, and not only just for rebounding for yourself, but even the box out. You have to track it off the rim. One of the best players that I loved watching rebound, just on the men's side, was Charles Barkley, how he was never denied. Always going for it. He could be across the rim, across the lane, but finds a way to get there just because of his calculations of where it was going to be.
Anna Pahajic from Denmark checks in for the first time for Jose Fernandez's team as Ferreira leaves the game for the final time. Under 2 to play. Barnes pulls up top of the key. Taylor Barnes only a sophomore. Couple more years here for Melissa McFerrin. He's only going to get better.
Especially with the other players you're seeing. They had about they have another 5 on the bench that aren't dressed out. We haven't talked a lot about Bria Wilder-Cochran that was hurt, one of the top defenders for her team as a senior, but a lot of talent that you could have on this team, but they've been plagued by the injuries.
Yes, you lose that veteran leadership from Bria Weiler-Cochran, out with a shoulder injury, also a knee problem. She's in a sling as Stinson hits the pull-up. We mentioned other injuries. You have Dominique Miller, she's out for the year with a shoulder problem. You have a concussion issue with the freshman Finesse Dixon. And then Asia Jones, again, hurt before the season for a second straight year, who was expected to be a big scorer for Memphis. So she has not played a game yet for Melissa McFerrin, but she will be back for the 18-19 season. Driving was Penagic, I should say, and she'll get a couple of free throws. She had a medical red shirt last year with a torn ACL.
Great take. Being aggressive, not settling for the outside shot. Not to add salt to the wound for Memphis either, but the transfer from UT Martin gets her 6th year back, but back-to-back ACLs for her as well on the sideline for Memphis. It's tough to see. You got to work through those, and those aren't just quick, ankle sprains here and there, or, just those recoveries. Those are month-long or season-ending injuries.
I can't imagine having to go through that 2 straight years. USF 10 of 14 from the free throw line. 13 of those free throws have been taken in the second half, so they have been getting to the line at a steady rate. Barnes doesn't get the bounce. It goes right into the hands of Vanessa Blagman. Under 30 to play. USF can run out the clock here. They will win this game and make it 4 straight road W's. And they finally figured out the El Marrone jigsaw puzzle as they'll win for the first time in 3 years. Having lost 2 straight at El Marrone, they'll get the victory, and they will win it by the count of 81-62. They improve to 15-4, while Memphis drops to 7-11. Close game first half. Memphis surprisingly had the lead at halftime, but Angel in the second